Ken, I want to start with something your colleague Dennis Lin put out there yesterday about the Padres. I just thought the name connection was fascinating. So the Padres have interest in Jarren Duran, and they've had interest in him since at least last year, according to this report. That's cool. I mean, teams have interest in a lot of different players. Do you think that there would be any mutual interest? Because if you look back to last year, Jarren Duran, by wins above replacement, was like a top 5 player in the league. If I told you this a year ago, you'd be like, no way the Red Sox are trading this guy. They're signing him up long term. So what did you think?
Well, I was aware of this too. We spoke, Dennis and I, about it, and it's been going on a while, this interest in Duran. It dates back to 24, even before that. So, yes, Scott, I'm glad you said that teams are interested in all kinds of players at all the time, but this is a specific name that we've heard linked to the Padres. And the difference here with Duran, even though he is a really good player, is that the Red Sox have a surplus of outfielders. So with Roman Anthony still in the minors and them theoretically needing to clear a spot for him, maybe that would be the way they go. The question I have with this whole conversation is, what are the Padres going to give for Duran? They've depleted their system in recent years by making trade after trade, and I don't know that they really have a lot that would satisfy the Red Sox. If the Red Sox were intent on trading Duran, or Wilyer Abreu for that matter, another outfielder who is really good, they would want a considerable return, and I don't know that the Padres are prepared to give it to them, even if A.J. Preller wants to do something. It's just not a situation where he's had or has as much depth as he did before.
I mean, Preller has said it on the record many times. He can find more prospects to trade. He'll draft them and he'll trade them right away. Trade Turner. I mean, he's not afraid. So don't worry about Preller.
He has now, AJ. It's the moment.
I know, but Preller always figures out a way to trade. It's like, man, how does he have 400 prospects? Every player in the Padres, it seems like a prospect when they get traded away. It's amazing what he does. My question is more on, if Jarren Duran goes, is this the path they need for Roman Anthony? Because why is Roman Anthony not up? I know I kind of said, I don't know if we want to bring him up, but is he the answer to the Red Sox woes if he does come up? Because you already have Campbell there. He's struggling now. You got Meyer there. Casas obviously out for the year, but is Anthony the one that can get him over the hump and get him going?
I don't know that the answer to that is yes. And as we've seen, AJ, prospects are really exciting. And the Red Sox and their fans have been salivating over those guys for years now, literally years. But getting to the major leagues, transitioning to the major leagues is not easy. And while Campbell had some immediate success, he has now struggled. Meyer, of course, just got here. And there's no guarantee Anthony, as promising as he looks, like Jac Caglianone in Kansas City, is going to immediately make an impact. There's just not that easy a path for many of these players. Mike Trout went back to the minor leagues, if you recall, after coming up. So if the Red Sox do something along these lines, trade an outfielder with some service time for whatever they want, I don't know what they want exactly. I would imagine what they would want is something that could help them in the near future, if not immediately, if not right away in the present, because they want to compete. This team was built to compete. They signed Bregman. They traded for Garrett Crochet, signed him. It's not going to be a rebuilding movement there entirely when you have those kinds of players.
I know it's early. We're still well over, 58 days away from the trade deadline, Ken. I don't want to talk about who might be on the block, but I want to ask you this. Of the reasonable sellers, if you look at the sellers that could possibly be out there, White Sox, Orioles, maybe, A's, possibly, Angels, maybe, Marlins, Pirates, Rockies, obviously. Who do they have? Who is that? That's the thing when I look at the sellers. Maybe the Diamondbacks would be the one with maybe someone like Gallen.
Orioles.
Who?
Orioles.
Orioles. But the Orioles, are they finally going to trade away some of their guys? Like, you see what I'm saying? Like the question I always have when we go to a trade deadline is, it's great if you want to get guys, but some of these teams are so bad they don't have anybody to give you. So who's AJ, really out there from these teams? That's what I want. You're
absolutely right. The Orioles, as Scott mentioned, are the exception. The Orioles have a number of players on expiring contracts that they would be willing to trade. They've got a reliever in Felix Bautista who is not yet quite back to himself, but I would imagine teams would want. Who am I talking about? Ryan O'Hearn, one of the hottest hitters in baseball, although people really don't know it. Cedric Mullins, he is a center fielder who is streaky, but is someone who would be attractive. Zach Eflin, another one. Sugano, the pitcher. All these guys are potential free agents, as is Sir Anthony Dominguez. So you have a lot of potential pieces to trade, Bautista being another, Ryan Mountcastle with another year left being another. If they want to do some things, they will be able to do some things. They're not like the Rockies and the Pirates and the Marlins and the A's to a certain extent. Those teams don't have a whole lot to give. The Orioles do. Now, the question is, where are they going with this? Are they going back into something of a retooling phase? Are they going to try to compete again next year? And if they are, it's going to be difficult to replicate the performances or the quality of all of these players. That's a question that maybe they deal with later, because if they're out of contention, you might as well listen on every one of those guys I just mentioned, if not more.
Ken, you mentioned Jac Caglianone. We got a question from Drew Mungilo. I'm not sure. I'm not as much of a wordman as you, Ken, but what does Jac Cag's call-up mean, long and short-term, for Vinny Pasquantino?
Short-term, not much at all. They're going to continue playing Pasquantino at first base, DHing him on occasion. Salvador Perez will catch, of course, first base and DH on occasion. Caglianone has been playing the outfield at AAA. That's what the Royals would like to do with him, at least short-term. Now, long-term, is it possible he ends up at first base? They do something with Pasquantino? Yes, I would imagine it is. But if you're the Royals and you're tied for 28th in the major leagues in runs scored with the Pirates, ahead of only the Rockies, you need as many bats in your lineup as you can find. They don't have nearly enough. So what they want to do is squeeze all of these guys into the same lineup.
Ken, as someone that knows Jack, because he obviously went to Florida, and I went and saw his fiance's father, who's my dentist this morning. My teeth are looking great, by the way. What are they expecting from Jack? I know, listen, he's crushing in AA, crushed in AAA. He's put up these numbers, but they're not going to throw him like in the 3-hole right away and say, hey, go save this team's year, because they need Salvi to turn around. Bobby Witt's not having a great year. He's having a good year, but not the year he had last year. Are the Royals fans going to look at Jack and say, this is our savior, and it's not really fair to him?
They would be mistaken, the fans would, and the team would, if they looked at him that way. No young player should be looked at that way. Jac Caglianone was drafted just last year. It's less than a year since he was taken number 6 overall out of the University of Florida, and great name dropping there, AJ, on his father. And he is a guy that, yes, has great promise, amazing power, 15 home runs combined, AA and AAA, big-time OPS. Does chase, oddly does not strike out that much for someone who chases, but I would imagine, like with most young players, there's going to be some adjustment period. Maybe he gets hot right away and then has to adjust, like Christian Campbell. Maybe it happens right away. So I don't see him. No one should see him. No one should see Roman Anthony. No one should see any top prospect as a savior. But the question for the Royals is, and the question for any team considering the promotion of a top young player, is, can this player make us better than we are today? And the answer with Jac Caglianone, I would imagine, is going to be yes.
Scott, you need to check out this Roback hoodie I have. It's 85 plus degrees here in Florida. Look, lightweight, feels great, cool colors, perfect for those hot Florida days.
I agree, AJ. Color looks fire. And you can get your own sweatshirt, polo, hoodie. Go check out Roback. And if you do and you're a first-time customer, Roback.com, using the code FOUL gets you 20% off your first purchase. RHOBACK.com, code FOUL. Get after it, FT fam.
Ken, do you know what the attendance was in Miami last night?
I don't, but I saw a tweet in which I noticed quite a few empty seats.
Okay, so it's 5,894. I don't know where that ranks on the all-time lowest attendance in the last 25 years, but it's got to be high. What do the Marlins do? Because is baseball dead in Miami? They've tried different ownerships. They built a new stadium. They've got a good team. They sell the team. They get a good, whatever. They keep getting rid of it. Now they're reinventing the wheel with having their infielders 20 feet from home plate while they're taking batting practice, working on their jumps with nets in front of them. What the heck is going on in Miami? And will they just trade everybody away again and just keep saying, we're starting over?
It's a full-blown rebuild. And there's no secret here. And I want to say, before we even get into the Marlins, baseball gets what it deserves when you have a crowd of 5,000 for those two teams. Those two teams don't deserve even 5,000. And I'm not trying to disrespect the players necessarily. It's just the way the franchises are run, the performances on the field. Now, as to the Marlins, yes, they're continuing to do what they've done for a while now, and that's stack young players and keep collecting young players in the hopes of a better future. Sometimes this works, as we've seen, and sometimes it doesn't. But I would expect at the deadline, it won't just be Alcantara available, and maybe they don't even trade him with the performance that he has had so far. Maybe they just prefer to keep him and trade him once he gets going again, maybe in the offseason, maybe next year. Edward Cabrera, Jesus Sanchez, these are guys that they can move. They're not going to get a ton back for them. Maybe in a starting pitching market that is kind of thin, Cabrera gets you something. But that's where they are. Now, we can agree with it or disagree with it, but it's a clear path. We can't criticize them for not having a direction. They have a direction. It's just a matter of when this finally turns around. And yeah, they have a lot of promising young players, but at some point, like all teams, you've got to surround them with some quality veteran players, and the Marlins don't seem terribly interested in doing that.
We hit on the Red Sox a little bit, but Josh Schiffman on Chat BCC said, now with the Red Sox slumping, is there a chance that Buehler gets traded? Obviously, he's a one-year deal going. He has a chance to be traded, but could there be a Dodgers reunion?
Maybe the Dodgers should just collect every pitcher, and by the playoffs, they can figure out who's healthy and who's not and choose from a staff of 50. Seriously, though, with the Red Sox, yeah, I can understand the questions about them possibly becoming a seller. But again, we're 2 months away, just about 2 months away from the deadline. The Red Sox built this team to win. That's why they gave Bregman a $40 million average annual value. That's why they traded for Crochet, signed him. I cannot imagine them conceding easily. We've been hearing from them all season. We're going to be better. We expect to play better, but they have not put it together yet. Do I believe they can put it together? I absolutely do. And especially with Bregman coming back at some point. So they may do some things along what we discussed earlier, trading from depth, from strength, with an outfielder, for instance. But I don't expect them to be full-blown sellers and trading away Buehler and others just for the sake of collecting young players.
Ken, I know we're early, but are there any starting pitchers that we should keep an eye on when it comes to the trade deadline? Because, and I feel like this is getting well documented now from people who break down stats, Sandy Alcantara is not likely to be the guy. I mean, he has been, for the most part, a mess and just not bouncing back yet from Tommy John surgery. I think if we started off the season, he was the big name. Like, hey, who's going to get the big prize? This is a former Cy Young winner, should still be in his prime. So if not him, who do you think could be, one of the big arms moved that could dictate who wins the World Series, like Jordan Montgomery a couple years ago, who I know fell off, but that proved to be probably the biggest trade of the year a couple years ago.
Scott, I'll give you a couple of thoughts on this. One, as we wait for the news on Corbin Burns, the Diamondbacks. And if Corbin Burns is suffering a serious injury, requires surgery, whatever the case might be, if he is out for the season, they will have to look at being a seller. They are a mess right now. They're one of the most disappointing teams in the game, right there with Atlanta in the National League, behind the Orioles for pure disappointment, but they have not played well. They're 28-31. They've got a road trip to Atlanta and Cincinnati that starts tonight. That will be important for them. But if Burns is out, then you have to look at their expiring contracts, and Gallen and Merrill Kelly are two of them. They would be guys who, in a trade scenario, would attract quite a bit of interest, even though Gallen has struggled. And the other team that is really interesting to me, and I've written about them, I talked about them on Fair Territory as well, is Milwaukee. Milwaukee has the potential to have a surplus of starting pitching. Now, it's a combination of guys that have kind of emerged this year, like Chad Patrick and Logan Henderson, prospects like Jacob Mizorowski, and of course, veterans like Freddie Peralta and Aaron Savali. Could I see the Brewers, who have done this before, traded at the deadline even when in contention, moving a guy like Peralta to create opportunities for other players and just work off their depth? Yeah, I could see that. They did it with Hader. They didn't do it with Willy Adames, but it's something that the position that they're in right now, if it stays this way, and if they remain relatively healthy, it is something that perhaps they can entertain, and I would keep my eye on the Brewers.
Wow. Okay. All right, Ken. Before I let you go, how was that Dodgers-Yankees game on Saturday that you did? Did you have to fill? Because it was not very close.
AJ, it was pretty funny that I didn't even get on the air until it was 10-0. So I doubt anyone ever heard anything I said because TV sets were clicking off all over America. But we did a pretty good job, I hope, of entertaining the viewers, even though the game wasn't all that entertaining itself. We had position players pitching on both sides. It was just a total mess.
Okay, good, because I didn't watch it, so I just didn't know if you had a good report I should have heard or not. So I just was wondering.
Oh, I had several good reports, AJ, but you don't read me, you don't listen to me, so it's all good.
I mean, at least you know where you stand, Ken. That's all I care about. Let people know where they stand. So I mean, I have
AJ, you're like the Marlins. You have a clear direction.
That's right. That's right. That's exactly right. Just call me Peter. Hey, everybody. Be sure to like and subscribe for more content.
We're back here every weekday, all year long, so do not miss an episode.
The videos are coming in all day. Here's another video you might enjoy.
Baseball the way it should be covered.